Well, it has been a crazy night. I really pushed this vehicle, and wow, I tell you, I took it down to 0 and drove for a good mile or so on 0, and then finally I had people in the car, and we had to stop and charge it up for about 4 minutes, which gave me 10 miles of range so that I could complete my trip. And now I'm making my way back here to this dark and lonely service center. So it's kind of strange. The lights have been out for literally weeks now. Here we are. Can you even see it? Probably not. But anyway, so I'm going to be sitting here for a while, putting some range back on this thing so I can make it home and just let it slow charge. I don't know. I may just sit here and let it do its thing for about an hour or so and then go home. Haven't really figured that out yet. I'm just a little disappointed. Plus, this other supercharger wasn't moving fast enough, so I'm going to try a different supercharger too. Well, so much for 170 miles in 30 minutes. As you can see, I'm charging at only 68 kilowatts, 225 miles of range per hour. At one time it was up to 238, but it's moving really slow. It's been 34 minutes and I'm up to 128 miles. I think it's time to just call it. I don't have time to wait. I'm just gonna go on, and I figured since I was sitting here, I was hoping that in 30 minutes I would have been closer to 200 miles rather than 128. But I'm gonna go on and call it. I'll definitely make it home without any issues. So yeah, that's it. We are currently an hour and 16 minutes into this charge. It's supposed to be finished, but I guess it's just trying to pull maybe a mile or two extra out. When I first started charging this car up to full, it would go to 260. Then quickly it started going to 257 as they list on their website. Today I charged it up, well, let's see, did I charge after midnight? I did a little bit of charging after midnight, pulled it off the charger just after midnight, off of a supercharger, and I decided to come back over here to the supercharger and charge this thing all the way back up after what happened last night with me running it down to 0. I just figured it was a good time for me to give it a complete charge. So from about 58 miles of range, I think it was, I had, starting at 7:48 a.m. It's 9:05 a.m. right now. I've been sitting at 254 for quite some time. It says it's calculating. So we'll see. Hopefully I think it would be, listen, I'd be okay with it if it stopped right now at 254. I would have no qualms with that. I'm ready for it to say it's finished and let me go. So I'll give it a few more minutes and I'm finally just gonna unplug it and get on with my day. Okay, here we are, 10 minutes later. Nothing is happening. I really don't get it. It's not going above 254. Maybe it's finished, but I keep waiting for it to say charging complete and it's not doing it. I'm gonna give it 5 more minutes and then I'm done. I've got to go on with my day. All right, I gave up on this bitch. I don't know what is wrong with it, but that's all I'm getting after all this time sitting. I probably sat here for pretty close to 30 minutes at 254, and it just never went anywhere. So anyway, so I guess that's my max now instead of 257, but it doesn't matter anyway because you always lose mileage from so many other things, or range, I mean. So all right, we'll see how far we get on this one. Well, it sure is holding at 100% quite well. And I believe I've already driven, I'm going on 3 miles at least. I will double check that in just a moment. Still at 100% since I unplugged. And we have driven 2.4 miles. We changed from energy to distance. I'll show you how to do that here. Just switch it back. I like to stick with that, frankly. Mileage is more important to me than percentage, like energy percentage, because I can gauge things better, as everyone should be able to. So, pretty strange. I left it on there for all that time, and now I'm driving here and it's still saying 254. Pretty odd, but I'm sure it's going to drop by the time I get home. So here's something that's pretty interesting. I've driven 7.2 miles. According to what I started out with, which was 254 miles, I've gone a little over that. I know that's to be expected with the regen braking, but still, yeah, it seems to be holding up pretty well on this charge. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we're only a few miles into it, so once I've driven about 150 miles or so, I will really know what we're dealing with here. So it's pretty much like I said, you can get from a full charge on the 90D, you can pull 230 miles out of it. It's rare that I run it down this low and then go to charge back up, but I was doing a little experiment. This one's not getting up to a very high speed right now, so it's telling me it's gonna take an hour and 20 minutes to get it fully charged. I always leave it at full when I'm charging, and then I may just stop it where the daily or 90% would normally be, just in order to pull at a higher rate of speed. Maybe this doesn't really work, but I seem to believe it does, so I'm going to stick with that method. So, we'll see where we're at by 12:30. I'm going to go for a walk. So here's where we are 30 minutes later.